Hey everyone, it's me again. I know it's been a while, but just between a combination of just so much, so many things to do, and also yesterday I wasn't feeling the greatest, so I fell asleep before I could make another video. But here I am now, so I guess we should get started. Yeah, yesterday I went to a festival with our group over in Asakusa, and it wasn't what I was expecting, but in a good way. Because usually there's, like in Winchester, there's a festival called Apple Blossom. And, I mean, I've kind of seen some of it, and I was never really super impressed. But this one, I mean, there were people, like, getting really active, carrying big shrines, and it was very interesting to see how into their festivals they got. It was just very interesting. And we saw like a little mini fight break out, and I thought that was kind of interesting to see that, they show that type of incohesiveness during a festival. I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting. It was quite interesting how all of it happened to work out. But, it was just pretty cool. There was lots of food, there was lots of things to see, and the temple was huge. There was this big temple in Asakusa, and it was almost overwhelming how many people were there for this. And I think it just keeps reminding me that there's more people and this city is bigger than I could ever imagine a city being. But beyond that, yeah, and earlier this week, I mean, if you probably saw the pictures, but I haven't really talked about it yet, sumo was awesome. I mean, anyone who, hasn't really seen sumo, sumo, the stereotypical guys lifting their legs up and going, oh. But there's more to it than that. I used to think it was just, big guys just running into each other, and rubbing and doing all kinds of weird stuff, trying to push each other out. But I don't know. Like, after, we saw it firsthand and got to see the whole, ritual behind it, it's very fascinating. There's a big ritual behind the whole thing. Like, as soon as they walk into the ring, the bout's begun. They can start whenever they want. And sometimes it takes several minutes for them to get into the action part. But from what I understand, when they first come out, there's a referee type guy, but he's in a priest robe, and basically he's standing there, and then another guy comes out and introduces the sumo wrestlers. So they'll come in and basically they'll throw salt into the ring, because salt and part of a ritual, I think. I'm not quite sure, but it was just very fascinating how there's a lot of ritual to how the Japanese work. There's a lot of ritual to how they bathe. Like, when you bathe, first you go into the bathroom, the bathing room. It's different from the toilet, and you clean off first. You shower, you wash yourself off completely. And then you get into a tub. And, I mean, that's a little, less so, but it just seems like there's always, a ritual and a structure to how a lot of the activities here work. It's almost you have to do this ritual right or you're not doing it correctly. And it's sometimes a little overwhelming, because, I'm a foreigner, obviously. So it kind of gets a little overwhelming sometimes to see all these other little rituals at work, and it's just oh no, I don't know what's going on, but yeah. But I don't know, it's very fascinating to see how it's all organized in a particular way. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. And and then earlier this week we also went to Tsukiji Fish Market, and I never thought I'd see them fish before. I mean, there were all types of fish. There was tuna. I mean, a lot of it I saw. I didn't know what type of fish it was, but I saw a lot of ebi, which is shrimp, ika, which I think is squid, and then tako, which is octopus. I saw a lot of those. We saw some flounder. I mean, if you can think of a type of fish, it was there somewhere. It was pretty. I don't know, it was pretty intense. I know I say that word a lot, apparently, but whatever. I mean, I don't know, everything just seems to be overwhelming here. It's just, there's so much of everything. It's just a beautiful thing. And it was just interesting to see how much fish that this country consumes. Because I heard that this country, Japan, takes up about 50% of the fish harvested in the world. And I'm just wow, that's a lot of fish. especially since relatively compared to, the United States or China or some other bigger country that has more people. Or, Europe. I mean, you feel like Europeans would eat a lot of fish, especially in the Mediterranean, but apparently not, no. Apparently the Japanese love it. Well, and I heard the main reason is that they get it more is because they're willing to pay more for it, because they appreciate good fish better. Which, I don't know, I think says something about, how much they like fish. I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. And also, what else has happened? Can't really think of much. Oh, I remember now. Yeah. I didn't really notice it the first part of the first half of the first week, but I've started to notice that I stick out. I know, you're probably like, Michael, how do you think you couldn't stick out? You're 6'3", you have blue eyes, and you're a white guy with a terrible accent for Japanese. I'm like, yeah, but, and I never really noticed that I stuck out. Like, I'd be on the trains, and I noticed there was this old guy, this older gentleman, looking at me. So, but I'd look at him and he'd look away. So I looked down, I looked right back, and he was staring right at me, and then he looked away. And then I looked around, and I could tell that other people, it was almost like they're intentionally making sure they never caught eye contact with me. Like, they turned the opposite direction. It was just like a wall of backs, or a wall of sides. No one would ever want to be facing my direction. And I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's a little rude, but I think that's just how their culture works. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's something along the lines of that, they're nervous of talking to a foreigner, maybe? Probably more along the lines of, I don't know, actually. I just find it very interesting that happens. Like, it's frequent. Like, every time I'm on a train, this happens. And, they're very nice when you talk to them, but if you're not talking to them, they seem really standoffish and cold. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. But I can't think of much else to really talk about right now. And I have class, and soon. So, I'll post this video later today, and you'll get to watch it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it again, and I will see you next week. I'll make sure I have a video up by maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll try to get one up by then. But anyway, I'll see you all later.